Dubious ones, welcome back to the channel for some AEW Fight Forever news. Today we are talking about the inevitability that we have of AEW Fight Forever coming to Game Pass and going free to play pretty much everywhere outside of Steam and PC. Why? Well, let's take a look, see, shall we? So, as you can see, and I'm sure unless you've been living under a rock, you're well aware that AEW Fight Forever goes free for players subscribed to PlayStation Plus starting in June. We are getting AEW Fight Forever is going to be officially free for all PlayStation Plus subscribers. Why is this a big deal? Because they said they had no plans in the past of going to any form of subscription service. Now, we're officially here. We've hit that time, and we've already seen AEW Fight Forever for free on Xbox. It was only for a short window between January 18th and 21st, but for players who subscribed to Xbox Game Pass, they had Xbox free play days for AEW Fight Forever back on the 18th of January of this year. So we've already seen it come for free for a short time to Xbox. So it's the fact that it's now on PlayStation Plus. Obviously, there might be some sort of exclusive window where they're not allowed to go on Game Pass for a little bit. But let's talk about what this all means. Whether it's on PlayStation Plus and Game Pass or not, or it's just PlayStation Plus for a while, what does this mean for the game? Does it mean that the game is dead? I mean, if you look at the player counts and who's been playing this game lately, I mean, the game itself looks great. The game is fun to play. Nobody's going to deny that the modes can be fun. It's just nothing to do in the game, right? It looks good. It looks absolutely fine. Gameplay engine has always been solid. But let's look at our player numbers. On Steam, on PC, obviously this is just PC, but its all-time player peak, it only sold 1,400 copies on Steam, 1,428. Its 24-hour player peak, 5 people. This 13 number is higher than I expected it to be, but 5 people playing 43 minutes ago. For comparison, I understand we're talking about a year-old game at this point for Fight Forever, where we hit those player numbers right at the beginning in the first, little while, and then that player base dropped off, and it never came back, right? Never ever really came back. But for reference, we've got WWE 2K24. Its player peak count peaked out on Steam at 8,700, but in the 24 hours, I understand the new DLC, some of it just dropped recently, so we did get a little spike in player numbers, but a 1,600 24-hour player peak, 895 players playing recently. And we've seen this slow decline throughout the history with little peaks and valleys here for 2K24. But for better reference, as Fight Forever now, it's a year old. Maybe that's not a fair comparison. Let's look at Fire Pro Wrestling World, where its all-time peak was just above Fight Forever. But this game came out back in 2017. We hit that player peak at the beginning all the way back in 2017. That's 7 years ago. And this game hasn't ever had a huge rise in population. We got to 363 over here in 2019, which was probably some DLC that came out. Maybe the move craft time came around somewhere there. But this game has had a healthy player base, a regular player base, right around, look at this, always around 100 to 200 players. Only recently, look, it's 141, 143. The 24-hour peak is 90. Oh, we can't see a 48-hour peak. 48-hour peak, we had 97-ish, 7 days, 100. So you're still getting around 100 players on the regular for a game that is a wrestling game that's 7 years old. A 7-year-old wrestling game. So Fight Forever, a very fun game to play, just lacking in modes. And I think their biggest mistake was Stadium Stampede. Because none of the wrestling game fans were looking for a battle royale. At least not the majority of them. But Stadium Stampede itself could have easily saved this game, made it, one of the most popular non-WWE wrestling games of all time. Had they simply had Stadium Stampede be the regular wrestling game mechanics, not the Battle Royale nonsense mechanics. If you were able to have the regular grapple engine in Stadium Stampede and have it a one-man takes all, 30-man elimination, knockout only if you want to keep it that way match, with where you have to all eventually confine into that small space to stay alive, that would have been fine. The whole problem with Stadium Stampede is it's a completely different game. It uses Battle Royale mechanics, completely different buttons. You don't get your grapple moves, all that. All you get is a finisher and a strike and maybe one grapple or whatever it is. I only played it like the one time. It wasn't for me. But it's really sad because that mode could have set this game completely apart had it just kept that amazing grapple engine that is the Fight Forever engine, the only thing the game's got going for it. So, do I think this is the death of AEW Fight Forever? Personally, I thought this game died a long time ago. Very, very sadly. But I really don't think the little bumps they've given it, we were told before the Season 3 DLC came out, that our feedback that we gave when the game came out, when they did that huge feedback thread, and I did videos on it, and I was encouraging people to leave their feedback for the developers so that they could implement it into the game when I thought they were really going to listen to their community in the game. We were told by the community manager before Season 3 that all of our feedback had been taken into account, but we likely wouldn't start seeing it trickle out into the game until Season 4 at the earliest. Because the stuff that was released at Season 3 was already being developed, already being worked on when the game dropped. So Season 4 was where we were first going to start seeing all the things we asked for. Well, we basically asked them to entirely redo the creation suite. Not just give us 50 new custom attires. Not nearly enough. Not nearly enough. 30 new moves. Again, not nearly enough. Not what we were looking for. 10 new music tracks. Nobody cares. Stadium Stampede expansion with all new tournament mode. The all new tournament mode is the only thing interesting, in my opinion, other than the characters, from this entire DLC pack. What we needed was match types. That was the number one thing people were asking for. Lack of match types. Cage match. Multi-man ladder matches. Tornado tag matches. Stuff that was even in Road to Elite that still is not in the regular game to play online or solo. It's bananas. So the fact that they didn't listen at all and are still putting out stuff like this and expecting people to shell out $20 for something like this for a few characters on a game that nobody's playing anymore, it's just tone deaf to me, man. There were so many missteps with this game. And I don't know how you sunk $10 million into this game and you get this product when I'm seeing what the guys at Ultra Pro Wrestling are doing or are trying to do with a shoestring budget of like well under $100,000, let alone 10 million, right? Like, it's bananas, dude, that there was over $10 million sunk into this game, and this is what we got. We got an unfinished product. It's just so bananas to me, and this game had so much potential. Now, do I think if it were to come to Game Pass, and we were able to play it on Game Pass as well as PS Plus, I think that's great for the player base, and that might bring some people to actually, so when you're trying to fill an online lobby, maybe you'll actually be able to find a match. But then there's the issues of the matchmaking itself. You know, you can't just search for a match in the background and say, go play Road to Elite, or play, I don't know, Stadium Stampede, I guess, and then search for a regular match in the background. But you can't do anything. You're literally just stuck on a screen waiting, hoping somebody joins your lobby. And that's not a good way to set up your online, man. It's not. You need to be able to play the game and do other stuff in the game while you're searching for a game. Like, I'll use Street Fighter 6 for an example, where you can go into the training or arcade mode or whatever and just search for a match in the background. That's the way online games should be. Am I excited for it coming to PlayStation Plus? Definitely. The more players that can get this game in their hands, the better. And the more people that maybe buy skins or season passes or anything if they like the game, that could help the potential of us ever getting a new game or proper updates to this game down the line But I don't think it going to PlayStation Plus in any way, shape, or form is going to save this game. I don't think it coming to Game Pass at this point would save this game. But the more players you can get your game in front of is definitely a better thing than what we have right now, with just packs of DLC coming out like this, with a player base that's less than a wrestling game. So you can't say it's just players who don't want a WWE wrestling game. They're not looking for something else to play, because 7 years later, there's still 100 people a day checking out Fire Pro Wrestling World. So it's not just people are only playing WWE, because this is case in point. There is an audience of players, and that will come back to your game if there's something to do. Fire Pro Wrestling World has things like a move creator, a bunch of match types, a GM mode, a season mode. They have, different reasons to play this game. Whereas Fight Forever is fun, but you're getting 5-minute matches, and there's only so many trophies you want to chase before you give up on the game. So Dubious Ones, this one went way longer than I expected it to, but I just think this game's got so much potential, and it really, really frustrates me that it didn't realize any of it. Like, I thought with the whole live service model, that meant we were going to get frequent updates, balance patches, new stuff. And instead, we're getting $20 season passes that includes all things, like everything in here, maybe outside of the characters. I think that should be free. I don't care about the 10 music packs, but everything else I think should just be coming as free updates as it is. Like, maybe they should have done a battle pass or something. I don't even know. I'm not arguing for a battle pass. I'm just saying that it seems like the guys who are working on it are completely tone deaf and don't know what's going to sell or save this game. Like I said, if Stadium Stampede came out with the regular engine and you could access all those cool areas, and if they implemented that as a backstage area where you could just Irish whip your opponent up the ramp, No Mercy style, and you could access all the areas that are in Stadium Stampede, like the bars, the MMA style octagon or cage or whatever that's there, and just all the different rooms and the environment, the golf carts, the horses. All that stuff is so cool. You have all these great assets in the game, but we can't access them in the base game for any reason. And that's just ridiculous to me. Anyways, Dubious Ones, this ended up turning into a much longer rant than it needed to be. Sound off in the comments down below. Do you think it's coming to Xbox Game Pass as well, now that it's being released as of today, I believe, or I guess tomorrow, on PlayStation Plus here? Do we think it's coming to Game Pass as well? I certainly do. Maybe not for a little while. Maybe there's some exclusive time period there. But I definitely think it's coming. And do you think it matters? Secondly, do you care? Will it make a difference? Will this get you guys to play if you saw more of a player base? Is there anything they could do to this game to bring you back? Do you continue to play this game regularly? Like, I want to know, are you guys out there that are playing this game on any kind of regular basis? Because the engine itself is fun. It is a fun game to play. I'm not going to deny that. I enjoy the engine. I just think there's so many things that need to be done on this game to get people to play on a regular basis and to get people to come back and spend money on your DLC and everything else. But anyways, Dubious Ones, I will catch you in the next time. Sound off in the comments down below. And thank you all for watching. And I will catch you in the next one. Deuces.
Make way for Miss